Welcome to the Cresco Wealthcast. My name is Dimitri Karolis. I'm the host of the pod, and I'm also an advisor within the Cresco Wealth Management team. Just want to say a quick thank you to all of you that continue to support and follow the channel. I appreciate you, and of course, welcome back. And if this is your first time to the podcast, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy. At the Cresco Wealthcast, the inspiration was very simple. I wanted to bring topics that were derived from real conversations, and I wanted to do it in a way that was relevant and relatable to you. And a lot of the conversations and the content that you're going to hear, it's coming from clients, it's family, it's friends, it's just being out and about and having those real conversations. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoy, but before I let you go, just want to let you know you can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search at Cresco Wealth Management. Till then, enjoy the pod. Oh, and by the way, that music you're hearing, that's Pete Ems. He's one half of Small Town DJs, and it was nominated for a Juno Award. He's on the team, no big deal. And welcome back, everyone. Again, the Cresco Wealthcast. I always try to do this with a guest because I think if you ask anyone in the office, they have enough time of allowing me to hear the sound of my own voice. So this way it allows me to at least break it up. Today I am joined with, I think the Platinum Preferred Podcast member on the team, Mr. Pete Coelias. I think you're in status.
Do I have that honor?
You have that honor.
Oh, really?
I think I'm nothing without you on this one.
Well, we already knew that.
All right, since we're airing the laundry, no, I kid. Well, thanks for joining me. Again, just as you heard in the intro, as we'll reiterate all the time, is that a lot of these conversations and the podcasts we wanted to bring are conversations that we're having, whether it's clients, people out in the streets, out and about. So what we want to talk about today inherently is the power of independent advice, the power of an independent firm, and how this came to be is not so much of a, hey, let's do a sales pitch podcast. With recent news headlines, changes in government, to be very political about it. Really what it's done, and Pete, you can attest to this as well, it's created questions, conversations, whether it be about the elections, whether it be about tariffs, whether it be about the 51st proverbial state, things like that. But really what it is people are coming and they're asking questions, and it just comes down to how are we answering them. And this is where we wanted to really bring in and say the power of independent advice is where are we getting our content, how are we answering these questions, and that value proposition that we bring.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dimitri. We came to an independent firm, Wellington Altus. I think we're about 5 or 6 years on. We had spent a lot of time and talked about coming to an independent firm, and now that we've lived it, we absolutely see the value and benefit to that. And a couple of the big bonuses and the pluses, as you mentioned, there always is, right? There's always going to be chaos in the system of this world. That's just what history is. History is a surprise after surprise after surprise after left corner. And obviously now with some political changes down in the U.S., there's more conversations that are being had, and people are looking for answers. And being within this independent firm, we have the ability not only to listen to the great Dr. Jim Thorne, but we can go and search out not only research that's specific to our firm, but the research that's being offered by all these other different different outfits, which then helps us curate what we believe is the best path going forward. A lot of places, they have to just answer specifically as to what is offered to them by their specific research house. They can't go beyond that and actually have this independent thought. And that's very powerful for us. I mean, one of our beliefs is the best decision is the most informed decision. Well, how can you make an informed decision if you don't have access to all the information, all the data that's out there? And so we're not limited by scope. We've got this flexibility. And I would say our sandbox is so much bigger than everybody else's to help us to try to pinpoint the right answers and navigate the waters and get in the right spots. And that's one of the great things that we have here in being part of Wellington Altus and being our own independent team under Wellington Altus as Cresco Wealth Management.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, to backtrack and to go is when the due diligence was conducted about, you said, yeah, we've been here just over 5 years moving, and when that due diligence was being conducted, I think it's important to say the firm is a big factor. And what do they allow someone to do? What do they provide for resources? And maybe can we go through some of that decision-making process or things that were so appetizing that where the Wellington opportunity presented itself? Because that really leads to a lot of what you were talking about is the independent decision making goes into the portfolio management, the tailored advice, the information, the ability to talk at a round table, the discourse is what I'm trying to say. So maybe take it from the beginning and why it was so appetizing that leads to these things.
Well, it really, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to do what's best for our clients. We want to build a business that's very client-centric, and how can we offer them the best available advice on the street? And that's where we decided on Wellington Altus. And back to your point, we have the ability to offer the most personalized and tailored advice that there is out there. And one of the key components of that is that we have an unbiased approach. We don't have to have biases based upon what the head person is saying at our firm. We can decide and determine what we believe is the best advice for our clients. We can go out there and talk to the best accountants. We can go out there and talk to the best lawyers. We can go out there and talk to the best asset managers, portfolio managers, research houses. The list goes on. I mean, at our disposal, we can get access to some of the best thinking out there. Now, of course, we think we're the best thinkers, but we know the truth behind that, and we've got the ability to go find the best thoughts. So not only can we the best thought, that then provides us with some of the most unbiased recommendations for our clients.
I had a meeting the other week with prospective clients, and of course, you know, we're not going to name the firm on the podcast here today, but nonetheless, their situation, it had led into a question about mortgages as well. And I said, let me tell you how the conversation went. I'm saying this to them. They probably told you to do A, B, C, and D. And his eyes open up. He goes, oh my goodness, that's exactly it. I go, yes, because when you're incentivized in a particular situation, and it's not that people are malicious trying to do bad work. They're handcuffed to what they're allowed and can offer. And I say, could you imagine sitting at a large institution that runs a business model a certain way? And has anyone ever had that conversation or advice where they turned to you and said, you should do diligence and seek out a few different other opinions? Mm-hmm. You should go to an independent just to see if you can get a preferred rate. No. And so that's where, when you start to guess, or the other one is when you have a portfolio, for example, whereas you spend some time in the industry and you realize, again, what people are allowed and not allowed or suggested to do, which we don't have at Wellington, which is amazing, is I'm able to even name the fund codes off at this point.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
It's a rinse and repeat model that you see.
And sorry to cut you off, and not to think that, everyone's just getting blown up, it's a doomsday.
Not at all.
It's not that. It's not to say that these are the worst things ever on the planet, but are they the best option?
Are they really going through, doing the diligence, having these constructive conversations? I would say the other big component to being part of an independent firm is allowing you to then continue to build upon the values that you have as a team, right? And one of our key values is relationships. We want to build these strong relationships not only with our clients, but with each other, within the community. And when you're with an independent outfit, they allow you to use that creativity to the best of your ability without the bureaucracy to get things done. And it's wonderful. You know, if we go out there and we say, we really want to go and support this charity, and we'll be talking about it coming up, the Miss Charity, that is an independent creative thought that we create, we want to build, and we can go and do. And from that, we can bring all these wonderful stakeholders, whether it's other advisors from Wellington Altus, whether it's clients, whether it is community members within each and one of our outfits. And it really helps us then also to if a client has a suggestion or a conversation, we can make effective change based upon what our clients want. Whereby before sometimes you couldn't do that because there's not this independence that allows you to do it. Yeah. But we can now listen to our clients and then try to create as much effective change. Listen, is it going to be perfect? No, but at least we have that opportunity to do that.
Another thing that I like is, and again, this is, to say objectively, is that different firms, institutions have different business models and different outreach. And, I'll use a sports analogy. You say, look, the NHL is there for the collective of the NHL, but sometimes they got to subsidize the other teams in the mix, and they're there for the greater good, so on and so forth. So they're franchises, but they're not true franchises to a degree. And where I go by this is to say that what I love about being an independent firm is, and at Wellington, is that all the revenue, all of the process improvement goes directly into wealth management.
Correct.
Which is our business line here. And it's not to say that anyone else has done anything wrong. It just, a lot of other institutions, again, have these different business lines. And so when they have the coffers and they're looking to see where they want to do process improvement, it's, it has to go into these different ways. And I get that. It's almost the joke. If you ask anyone that works in marketing, they're the least funded. They're the greatest thing to get you money, but they're the ones that do no work, apparently. Not you, Vicky. We're not talking about you.
Not at all.
Not at all. But, it's to that point where I say, what's nice here is everything is for the purpose of the enhancement of wealth management, from our applications, from the support that we get. The infrastructure, the compliance, the back offs, all of those things is leading in one direction.
Right.
We're not fighting an app.
No, and it comes back to one of the key things that we heard from the chairman, the founders, Charlie and Sean. When we first sat down and met with them, they told us is we want to manage to yes, right? If there's a question. And so that's exceptionally important. Again, as being an independent team with an independent firm, we've got direct access to the decision makers, and we can have conversations and make those effective changes and do what's best, again, for our clients, without having all these barriers. I know a lot of, we want everything done yesterday. That's not going to be happen, but we're always seeing progress. And that's great, because that progress at the end of the day provides quite a bit of value to our clients.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. That's a great point as well. And it's also the vetting process too of what the firm does to bring on teams to help develop that, that culture, right? And what I like is, of course, as you grow the firm, but everything has to be a stylistic fit to a degree as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, being independent allows us to have our own autonomy and flexibility as to how we want to run the business. We have access to a large variety of investment options, but not only that, different types of strategic thought and leaders from around the globe, not just here in Canada, which can be less. We then have the entrepreneurial opportunity and the leeway to build the business that we can for the best of our clients, to have those long-term relationships. It's really tough to beat independence.
And true independence.
True independence.
And it's one thing to say we are independent of however you want to label the institution, just because that's what it has on your letterhead, but to be truly independent, to have those autonomous decisions to make for your clients, for our clients, they're alike. And so again, our job as wealth managers is to look at the entire picture objectively, the entire landscape, the suite of services, and everything that we're doing. And we'd be remiss on a podcast like this not to extend to what we already do for our clients, but prospective clients or those that really want that opinion and to say, well, how do I get started? It is just that second opinion. It's that objective look to, because we're not here to always say, hey, you're doing everything wrong. There are a lot of things that a lot of people are doing right. I would say it's just a matter of tightening the screws and capacity to be able to operate in that lane to tighten the screws.
Right.
Okay, so you can, of course, we have the links in the bio, the website. At the end here on the outro, there's some information, but you can reach out to myself, Peter, anyone on the team directly, and just have that second look and really have an opinion from a true advisory team with a true independent advisory firm.
Right. And we've said it time and time again, we're here to help families maximize their opportunities, avoid those pitfalls could be catastrophic, and allow us to handle that on your behalf so you can do what you enjoy, which is living the good life. And that's why we're here for you.
And doing podcasts with Pete.
And doing podcasts with Dimitri.
Okay, thank you. Hope you enjoyed the episode, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Please feel free to leave your comments, or even if you want to let me know topics that you think I should be talking about. You can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search at Cresco Wealth Management. And last but not least, if you want to be up to date with our newsletters, our insights, and even our events that we host throughout the year, you can reach out to me directly. It's pretty simple. You could just go to our website, find me from there, crescowealthmanagement.com. Thanks again, everyone.